What's up and welcome to the channel.
That's awesome.
Lugnuts.Guapo here at Davidson, and if you don't follow me, you probably don't know this yet, but I have a new motorcycle. This is actually my first Harley. It's actually in my name. That's it right there. I don't know if you can see it. Ooh. And that is it right there. That's a 2006 Electra Glide standard, and got a pretty good deal. Has a little kinks that I need to work out. Getting a brand new stereo. I will show you all that I got for it here in a second. But the inner fairing is trash, so I'll have to show you how bad it is. And I found another inner fairing that I'm gonna put on there. It was from a wrecked bike, and I don't know if you can see right there. It's right on that stud. I'm gonna epoxy that together and then use it to replace my other fairing, which is again trash. So let's get cracking. While that dries, I'm gonna put my bike on the lift and start taking the fairing apart. So yeah. Next, we need to put a ratchet on it. Just make sure that it's strapped down, that way it won't fall off, because that would really suck. So now that the bike is on the lift, we're gonna go ahead and take that fairing apart and probably take the tank off as well. And the seat has to come off as well, so then you'll get to see how big of a mess it really is underneath that fairing. So let's do it. So now all the bolts are removed, take the windshield off, and now take the fairing off, and I'm about to show you how bad this really is. It's really bad. Ooh, here we go. I'm gonna point out some really bad stuff. So let's start off with some of the JB, or not JB welded, they're just plastic welded crap. Right there. I mean, look at this system. It's Sony Explode, not very good. Look at this rig right here. That is horrible. Just drywall screws, ABS plastic, electrical tape. So where it's really bad is, so this is gone. There's supposed to be something like this right here and right here. And this is pretty much trash. Just there's no thread in there. And this joint right here, this bracket is real broke. So yeah, so it's whoever tried to put this back together really did a horrible job. It destroyed the inner fairing. So now it's my job to change that. All right, so taking all the bolts off, unplugged a couple things. Now it's time to take the fairing off. Hopefully I won't break more than is already broken. By the way, disclaimer, I'm not good at this, nor do I have any experience. This is the first time I'm actually doing this, so I do have a little bit of guidance from those two over there, Trip and Tom. Awesome techs, been doing it for over 15 years apiece. And yeah, so had to take the brake line because where I put the fitting in backwards, so that had to come out. They also put it through the fairing where it shouldn't have been, and that's why you pay those guys to do it instead of doing it at your house by yourself and then ending up with this. So I'm about to take the fairing off, so I'm excited. Wire tangling everywhere. Oh. That is what it looks like when it's all apart, and I do eventually want to put a different fairing. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It'll eventually happen, but that had to change for me to just ride it in the meantime as I'm saving money to buy the other stuff that I want to put on there. So I'm not even halfway through, I'm sure, but anywho. So next, one of the brackets was broken that holds the fairing up, and I'm gonna grind this piece and that piece, and I have Trip weld it for me because I am broke and I'm doing this on a budget. So let's get cracking. Grinded that down, waiting for Trip to come back from a test ride to weld that together, and I'm gonna give Tom his vice grips back.
Pinzas.
Thank you, sir.
Con mano.
Now I'm swapping the inner fairing parts onto the other one, and then after that I'm gonna check the bushings. I think we need to swap those for some new poly bushings because the handlebars are a little wobbly. That's usually not a good thing. So. So it's almost all over. Trash. This needs to go to the trash. The speakers are trash. This inner fairing is trash. So now to move on. You were cutting the, I guess, the autofocus on the phone, started freaking out. You could feel the whole thing shaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it panics. Even when you're welding, it just starts. It's just it's having a hard time focusing, and you can feel how hard it's trying.
Freaking out.
It's like, oh man. Oh, so Trip cut out a little piece of metal, bending it over to reinforce that bracket, and I'll show it to you here in a little bit. But the important thing is it's not gonna break again. So now I'm gonna bend it over, weld that together, and eventually we will drill a hole through it. that's how it'll be reinforced. So now I'm gonna install the speakers while I let that bracket cool off, and then I'll drill a hole through it, paint it so it won't rust, and then we'll go on to hopefully changing the poly bushings on that thing. And yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier. This process is kind of all over the place. So here it is. Now, if you go to the dealership, that's not what they're gonna do. There's definitely some liability involved, but because this is my bike, I'm working on my bike, and I'm doing this, that's why we're doing it. This is probably not the best idea. It's just I'm broke, so, and on a budget. So let's drill this sucker. Ta-da! Now, I just painted the bracket. That's the one on the right side that I broke. And now, I'm putting the bracket on the left side, the one that wasn't broke. That way, when I go to put the speaker in, I know which orientation to put the speaker on. So, yeah. Alright, so now, we're gonna put the stereo in. And never done that before, so this should be interesting. And the speakers are already in. Let me show you real quick. All I had to do was reorient them, and I actually had to drill a hole on the side to make those brackets work. And as you can tell, that's the one that was broken. Painted it, looks fine to me. So, and this is the part of the fairing that I fixed. That was cracked, put some epoxy on there, it looks sturdy. Let's get going. Alright, I don't know if you can see behind me. Everything is bolted in there, ready for wiring, and before that, we are going to change the bushings. I feel like I've talked about it a bajillion times, but finally gonna get to that. Once I do that, it'll be bolting everything back together, you know, doing the brake lines, all that kind of stuff. So close, so close.